Sexting is basically where you are naughty via text.
Have received a dirty picture.
I haven't done it. Yeah, I've done it.
I've never done it, of course. I'm an angel.
Sexting is a trend that people in my generation have grown up with. Sexting can be both fun and flirty or dark and dangerous, depending on your experience. So what is sexting exactly? Sexting is sending or receiving a sexual image or message. Other terms for sexting are cybersexting, doxing, and believe it or not, selfie.
I thought sexting was sending pictures. Is it sending naked pictures?
Dirty messages.
Dirty messages.
People.
My understanding of sexting is using technology, such as phones, email, or Facebook, those social media, to share images of yourself.
Sexting is basically where you are naughty via text.
Sexting, I think in a simple answer, it's basically texting of a sexual content, so of words, of imagery, basically.
My understanding of sexting is when people send each other explicit, kind of sexually explicit messages.
I understand it to be a suggestive or nude or semi-nude image that's sent via a mobile phone network.
Have received a dirty picture or two from Harry.
Yeah,
Not really, but yeah.
Because it's sexy, and I think it can be a real boost for people's self-esteem to look great in a photo and have somebody appreciate that.
I think it can be very innocent fun, it can be for flirting, you know. It can be maybe a sign of proving someone's level of commitment. You know, if you love me or if you wanted to be with me, then you would send me this image.
I think young people do it just because maybe it's something they think everyone else is doing, and they just want to engage with that kind of thing.
How many of our young adults have experienced sexting? Well, over half the young teenagers in the UK have at least sent a sexual image or video.
But no, I haven't done it. Yeah, I've done it.
I've never done it, of course. I'm an angel.
Did you know that 71% of teenage girls and 67% of teenage boys have posted or sent sexual images to their boyfriends or girlfriends?
I would say a good 40%, maybe more, of young people experience it.
People have now got tablets and that they let their 4-year-olds use, even they can easily access it.
My brother has had an iPhone since he was 10, so really he has all the accessibility to be able to do it. I'm not saying that's right.
I think partly because of the internet. I think that's, you know, from when I was a young person 20 years ago, we didn't have internet. You know, it wasn't when I first started university. We didn't have internet. That was quite a late thing in my life.
There's so much more emphasis on it now compared to when I started in the field of sex education, like I said, about 15 years ago.
Young people have grown up with it from being small children.
You know, the way technology's moved on, the way we live in such a digital age now to communicate.
20 years ago, we didn't really use internet. Well,
it has become much more of a high-profile issue.
These young people, you know, they've grown up with that. It's something that they're introduced to as young children.
So, is sexting good or bad? Is it fun? And why do people do it? Let's find out.
But I don't know, if it's to your boyfriend or whatever, then it's kind of okay, I guess. Yeah.
I don't see it as a problem because you're not actually doing anything, so...
I think it depends, like, whose hands it's in, like, if you trust the person. But then
I don't think you
it can go dangerously wrong.
Depends how you use it, I guess. If you're sensible, then it's definitely a good thing. I mean, it's the same as sort of chatting someone up or whatever.
And it depends what circumstance it is. Like, if you're in a relationship and you're sexting someone else, you probably shouldn't do it.
It's great. I mean, it's probably good.
So, although it's legal to have sex at the age of 16, it's illegal to take, hold or share any sexual photos of someone who's under the age of 18.
The law is quite clear. Any young person under the age of 18 that is in possession of or distributes any child sexual abuse image may have the full weight of the law come down upon them.
Legal ages to send a sexting?
Oh, I don't know. I would say I think it should be for 18 plus, I think.
I can imagine it's probably 18.
It's probably 18.
There's probably not an age limit.
The implications are even more serious if they are over 18 and they're sharing sex with under 18s. They may end up on the sex offenders register for life. So the law is pretty clear. It's just that that's not communicated to young people clearly enough, in my opinion.
It's actually 18.
Is it?
But 18 is obviously fair.
Is it 18? Oh, okay.
So you can have sex at 16 and sexting is like not even sex, so true.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. 18 is a good age for that.
But it probably should be 16 because that's like the legal age, but 18 seems a bit stupid.
Should be 16.
I suppose that you don't know where they're going to go.
That person could have like your mum's number, and if you did something wrong to them, they send that to your mum or your dad, and that's even worse.
Anyone could use them anywhere, you don't own it.
I remember there was one sent at my school, and like the teachers had to watch the people delete it, so teachers have then seen these photos and stuff.
That's just the worst.
So it can be like
it could ruin your career, and if you want to be like a teacher or like something serious, then it literally could ruin your career. So
true.
Yeah.
There's two case studies of, one's a very young girl, aged 12 or 13, who, you know, tragically took her own life because she was being blackmailed that some photos she'd consented to at the time then were shared after a relationship broke down. And she was just so fearful of what would happen when those images were shared, and her family would find out that she'd been sexually active for one, but then actually also see this girl in compromising perhaps situations. She took her own life because she just couldn't bear the thought of that happening.
I think the way we see men and women are still quite stereotypical, and I think almost that's taken a step backwards.
There's a dangerous assumption to always sort of consider this is an issue around guys being predatory and the girl as the victim in this sort of sexting situation. And I think it's really important to be clear that, you know, it can equally happen the other way around. A girl can pressure or ask or request or threaten a guy.
Well, there's that historical thing that, you know, it's okay for guys to show off their genitals and to brag about it, but if a young woman does it, then she's labelled as I don't like the word, but slag or something like that.
It doesn't just apply to heterosexual relationships. I think that's sometimes also an assumption, or that's how it's talked about in sex education or in any conversation, and it's really important to be clear that this applies to all young people.
My advice for young people is don't do it. It's too risky. Once they've sent that image, they've got absolutely no control of where it goes. Even if you trust the person at the time you've sent it to, who knows where they might forward it to or where it might end up.
Top tips would be, if a young person wants to engage in sexting, making sure that they're sure that that's what they want to do, making sure that they trust the person that they're engaging in sexting with.
People don't understand the risks. That photo's gone forever, it's out of your control. Even on Snapchat, where people think the image disappears because it does on your phone, it actually is kept on a server forever.
And that they know them is probably a really good tip as well. And finally, the most important one is, if you're receiving messages from someone that you don't know or anything that's worrying you whatsoever, to talk to an adult that you trust or talk to a friend that you trust and kind of report it.